Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Google Workspace Recap, a Tab Geeks Network show. Each week we take you through everything announced by Google Workspace, discussing the updates of the week and other relevant news and announcements. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. It's good to be back in the studio, properly, and back to regularly scheduled programming now that Passover is over, and very much looking forward to attending the two C2C events in person this week in the LA area. One's in Irvine, one's in the Spruce Goose Hangar in LA, so if you're in the area, come say hello. I'm not involved in the event, but I will certainly be there and looking to network with people. And for you people out in San Diego, there is one down there as well, but as I'm going to two events here, I am not making the drive down to San Diego. Sorry. I'm so excited about it. I even got a hot off the press, first ever Google Workspace Recap swag t-shirt, which all of you on the YouTube stream can see. What do you think, Steve? You like it?
Oh, I'm a little jealous. Where's mine, Jesse? I'm a little disappointed here that I didn't get mine shipped out to me and that you're wearing it and I'm not. So,
Wah, 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 wah. Where's your sound effect?
yeah.
There we go. We're playing with the sound effects before. Steve needs a label maker because he doesn't know which one's which.
I know, I forget which one's which.
Well, this was just the test run, but I think it came out quite well. I'm modeling it for the first time ever here. Yeah, it looks good. I was playing around with the font, and I like the fact that recap is big and bold. This was just a Vistaprint, hot off the press. Get it here in time for the event. Try and do a little bit of marketing and let people know about the show. In case they don't recognize my face, because they're only on the podcast side, now they'll see the shirt. They'll be like, "Oh, you're that guy." Yeah. So that should be fun. And then, hey, if people like it, go and check it out on the feed. Let us know. And hey, maybe we'll start printing these up or making them available on an official Workspace Recap Tab Geeks swag store, which I have laid the groundwork for. Yeah. So I will need to spend a little bit of time in the design studio and come up with some cool, funny, witty, clever designs and good ways of placing the logo on shirts and socks and whatever else. I don't know. I have to look and see what's available. But hey, if you guys want them, we'll make them.
Yep. Yeah, I think it'd be good to get a little swag store going.
I love swag, especially when it's free. Unfortunately, we can't give this stuff away to everybody.
Yeah.
If we had a sponsor.
No, I think that'll just be part of the sponsor. You guys can help sponsor the show by buying the swag.
There you go. Make sure that we keep all of our wonderful, powerful lights on by sponsoring our swag, buying our swag. Yeah. Sounds good. What are our topics this week?
Well, we have a few. I think we have 6 this week, and then we've got a few other items in the news. And the one, other big thing that happened today that we don't have on our list yet, but Twitter has been sold, which is big news.
Which you're either terrifically happy about or very pissed off about.
Right.
I've seen the complete polarization of the internet, aka Twitter, on both sides today.
Right.
I'm sure Reddit's having a field day with that too, but hey, my stock is up 56% in 3 months, so I'm not complaining.
Pretty good.
I wish all the rest of my portfolio was doing that well.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Well, let me look at what those 6 updates are.
I was going to say, so what are those topics that you teased us about?
So we have using document popularity in cloud search rankings. That's the first one. Came out last week. We've improved admin experience for moving folders from My Drive to shared drives. There's some refreshed ASUS Google Meet hardware kits now available. And we also have the ability to set up host controls and assign co-hosts ahead of meetings in Google Calendar. There is now the ability to create dynamic groups by querying custom user attributes. That extends some of that previous functionality that we had there with dynamic groups. And then admins can now specify how individual Android apps update within the admin console. So those are the main updates that we have for the week. And then in the other news, we have that the Workspace Summit is coming up very soon. I think that is next month, in May, I believe, right?
Well, May is only a few days away.
Well, it is. That is correct. And it's happening in May. I think it's early May.
May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
Oh, that's right. Yes. I knew there was some special day to it.
So,
and then we have Apple is detailing how Google Workspace will integrate with Apple Business Manager. There are also an article here about 3 big mistakes companies make when returning to the office, according to Google's head of Workspace.
AKA Javier.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that who I think it is?
It is.
And then the Zoom app
Our fearless
for
leader.
Chromebooks gains better virtual backgrounds.
Woohoo!
Yeah. There's another interesting article I saw about Zoom and video conferencing solutions in general, where some of them are not or were not completely turning off the audio feed when you clicked mute. So,
I saw the headlines about that.
yeah,
What?
I think the
What was
worst
that?
one
Did you
was
read it?
I think the worst one was Cisco WebEx, where
Yikes.
they were still sending the audio to the Cisco servers and just still sending it there, so they weren't actually muting it at all.
So they weren't broadcasting it, but they were still receiving the audio.
Correct. Yes.
Is
So they
that
were able
how
to pick up.
Google can say, "Are you talking?" That's not done
Well,
locally
so that is well,
when you're on
that
mute.
it is one of the things that was mentioned in this research study about what's happening there and what kind of signals are being picked up. They did say that the only apps that were properly muting were the web-based applications. Of course, that being Google Meet. They didn't specifically say Google Meet, but they said all the web-based applications were correctly doing it, properly doing it, muting it. But they were doing some analysis on the binaries of all the desktop applications, and each one was doing a little something different to each, compared to the other ones in terms of what audio it was listening to and what signals it was picking up on that audio channel, to be able to see if there was activity on there. For example, like you were saying, like it was recognizing, oh, are you trying to speak, right? Because you do see that in some cases there. So there's some things that I think that the browser is picking up prior to it getting any further in the browser there, and kind of then making those indications to the user.
You see, that's why when I get up in the middle of a call to wear my headset into the bathroom to pee while I'm on a call, I make sure and mute it on the headset
Yeah.
because I don't trust the software not to broadcast that to everybody.
Well, I got notification on one of the headsets also that, hey, are you trying to speak on the headset?
Yeah.
It gives me that notification too. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
My Jabra doesn't do that. It's just dead.
What do I have? The Plantronics one. I have a Plantronics one.
Oh, interesting. My
Yeah,
wife
like
has the
one that you're
Plantronics one. I'll have
the one
to
that we were
test it.
talking about today earlier.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
So yeah, essentially we can link to that article. Found it. I think it was probably 2 weeks ago. It was a research article.
Yeah, I saw it in passing. I want to read it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's always
all right,
curious the inner workings of these things.
yeah, it was. It wasn't as revealing as I thought it was. I don't know. It wasn't as good of an article as I thought. Like
Well, the
actual
same people that are
research.
going to be concerned about that are going to be the ones that are not going to have the Google Assistant device sitting on their desk in front of them, always listening.
Yeah, it was more of an article that was trying to analyze what a user's what kind of audio a user thought was being picked up when you were on mute, or what kind of sound. I don't know. It didn't quite go into the depth that I was thinking of in terms of what apps do what with audio. It was more
Right.
of like a user study type of a thing.
Right. I mean, if
There's
it's
still some, yeah.
automatically deleted or dumped or just not processed, it's only used to notice if they're talking. Like, it's not as bad as if it was, recording everything. I mean, hot mics have been issues since we invented the microphone, and have toppled some pretty powerful people over the years.
Yeah.
I guess the next step of that is big tech company that people don't trust is recording your supposedly turned off microphone, and then somebody else gets a hold of that and is able to publish what was said while you were muted. I don't know. I'll read the article. I'm curious.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll send it to you. All right. Jumping into our first update. It is around Google Cloud Search supporting document popularity. So this will help prioritize articles that are showing up in results in Cloud Search. And again, this is like the Cloud Search that is part of the extension of what is available in the browser, not the one that is just at cloudsearch.google.com. And this will rank higher documents that are clicked on more frequently by users in these cloud search results. So it'll be on by default for those organizations that are using the cloud search custom functionality. And there's just some details there about using the default redirect URLs for search results when using the Search Query API for the feature to work, and that it is also available to, it's just available to the Cloud Search customers. It also mentions around Google Plus, Enterprise Standard, Education Plus, and Education Plus customers. So possibly there might be some functionality there within the browser version of Cloud Search, also where it, better prioritizes results when people are searching for it there. I always thought that was intrinsically happening from the beginning. Actually, Cloud Search does a pretty good job of surfacing things that I've worked on recently, for example, that are popular. But there we go. What else? We did the admin controls. We did, and then rollout pace. So in terms of rollout pace, that is available to both rapid release and scheduled release domains right now. Next, there's an improved admin experience for moving folders from My Drive to shared drive. So there was a beta before this where admins were allowed the ability to migrate folders from My Drive locations to shared drive locations without creating a new folder ID when that move happened. So this is retaining. This feature is now extended, to everyone. It's moved out of beta, and this will, of course, minimize some disruption there to people that had linked to these folders previously. And then there's also, it kind of analyzes what is being moved, so it will prevent moves that would exceed any shared drive limits. So if you are trying to move 500,000 objects, for example, in one move, shared drives only support 400,000 objects. And if you were previously initiating a move that had more than that, it would move 400,000 and then just stop. And you wouldn't know that it may have reached that maximum capacity. And then
I found that out the hard way.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Oops. And then also creating shortcuts for any items that can't be moved. So preserving the existing hierarchy as a reference. So I believe those are things like files owned by someone not in the organization. So they would have shortcuts added there as well. So that's also helpful. And in terms of functionality here, I believe this is still an admin feature. So what that just really means is that you can create a custom admin role that just has this one permission if you want to give this to your regular users. So you don't need to give them any other kind of drive admin privileges at all. There will be a specific role for this, just like there was before, that gave users the ability to move folders into shared drives previously when those folder IDs did break. A new one was created. That was always a possibility you could give to your users if you wanted to. So there will be obviously things to kind of just keep an eye out if you do give this to your end users. Just make sure they're to kind of be available for them if they have any questions. This, in terms of rollout for this one, it is rolling out to everyone now. So it's available for all admins and delegated admins. And then in terms of who it is available for, it's pretty much available to everyone, but it is not available to Business Starter, G Suite Basic customers, as well as personal Google accounts, of course, because no shared drives. All right. Next, we have the refreshed ASUS Google Meet hardware kits available now. So some new equipment in the market to, kind of update your meeting room equipment. It's kind of a good thing that I waited a little bit longer because I've been meaning to get some new Meet hardware for some meeting rooms, and it looks like there's slightly nicer looking Google speaker mics, second gen versions, 30% smaller design by the sounds of it, and comes with a magnetic table mount for easy installation as well. Should be good. I was always impressed with those Google table mics. I think that those were actually, I mean, I'm trying to think if anything else sounded better. I think those were the microphones that sounded the best from my experience of any of the Meet hardware kits.
I've only played with the Logitech one, and
Yeah.
I I was impressed, but not impressed. But also, I have the single most impossible environment that I tested them in. Our conference room is a fishbowl, so it's got glass walls on all four sides and a vaulted ceiling and an 18-foot long oval glass tabletop and a very thin carpet, like proper corporate industrial carpet. And no matter what I did, everything in that room echoed terribly, even with the Logitech mics. I didn't try these, but the Logitech mics were not able to compensate for it. It did do quite a bit, made it better, but still not even close to like what you and I sound like now.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure if these would completely get rid of that, but worth a shot. They're pretty good.
Well, nobody's used that conference room for about 2 years now, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I am not investing anything, any even thought into going that direction until they're like, hey, everybody is going to start working from the office again, which isn't going to happen because we've already hired remote teams. So I don't know when the next time that room will really get used in this capacity, but we'll see.
One of the other pieces of equipment is the new Mimo Mist Capture, and that is essentially just the LCD screen, the control unit, and those. I'm not sure which ones are new, but it has standard HDMI, USB-C connectors, and a USB-A connector for the speaker mic. So maybe some simpler ways to connect that into the unit. I don't know if that supports the HDMI extension like those new Avacor devices support, but that would be nice if it did, to be able to just plug in an HDMI connection into these for extended displays, or you're connecting your laptop into there. So I don't know if that's what it does. In terms of availability on this one, this is just kind of available as and when your hardware supplier has them in stock, but otherwise it is available to purchase now. And then moving into some features within the applications, you can now set up host controls and assign co-hosts ahead of meetings in Google Calendar. So this will give you the ability to assign those ahead of time, so you don't necessarily have to have the person that you want to be the host create the event so you know that they're the host. So you can kind of pick and choose who those people are going to be. So from an end user, so this is mostly an end user feature. So if you are going and creating that calendar event, you want to go into the Add Google Meet video conferencing option, and then go to Video Call Options, which is the gearbox, and then click on Host Controls or Co-hosts, and then that will give you the ability to kind of adjust these settings there. For rollout on this one, this started on the 20th of April, and for both rapid release and scheduled release domains on a gradual rollout, up to 15 days for visibility. It's available to all Workspace and Legacy G Suite customers, and it is not available to, actually no, it says available to users with personal Google accounts. I say it's not available, but it is. Yes, so available to everybody. Available to everybody, apparently. Which I thought the host controls were going to not be available for consumers, but looks like it is. I thought it would have been available only to like the Workspace individuals, but available to everyone, apparently. Yeah. That's the moderation settings. That's what it was. Yeah, the moderation settings are available to everybody.
I was just looking that up. It was not available for Business Starter, Frontline, Nonprofits, and Legacy.
I was just looking down now. There's sometimes they do this. There's multiple components to the announcement. So co-host settings are not available to Business Starter, Frontline, Nonprofits, as well as Legacy, G Suite, Basic, and Business. So that's what is different on that one. There we go. So I thought that wasn't available. All right.
You're not losing your mind yet, Steve.
No,
Not
not yet. I mean,
entirely,
it's no, right, exactly. Hopefully, hopefully a little bit longer till that happens. Next, we have the ability to create dynamic groups based on querying custom user attributes. So dynamic groups, those were previously only available with select fields within the user directory, but now this can extend further into some of those custom user attributes that you're making for a user. So go ahead and have a look within your dynamic groups, and you can now make some adjustments there to leverage the custom schema that you have. And this one is only going to be available for organizations on Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, and Education Plus domains. And in terms of rollout, it is rolled out to all of those already. So it's available now for all users on those SKUs. And then finally, last update of the week is that admins can now control and specify how individual Android apps update within the admin console. So within your applications, for your Android applications, you click on the app. On the right-hand side, a little side panel opens up where you have your settings, and you have some new options there in terms of app auto update timing. So you're given an option for default, high priority, or postpone. And then you also have some testing tracks there as well in terms of alpha and custom. So some more capabilities there to allow you to control the deployment of these Android applications. And, like I said, you can go in and see this in the admin console where you have your Android apps at. In terms of rollout for this one, rapid release and scheduled release domains are getting this starting the 21st of April on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility. This is not going to be available for the business starter, business standard, essentials, nonprofit customers, as well as cloud identity premium customers, which that was a little bit of a surprise that, oh, you know what? I'm just reading through this. I think that is a little typo there. If you look at the availability, it mentions it is available to Cloud Identity Premium and is not available to Cloud Identity Premium. So I think that was a little typo there. So more than likely, it is available for Premium, not available for Cloud Identity free customers, which makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. And those are the updates for the week. Those are the 6.
Those are the big ones. Yeah, I'm excited about the dynamic groups one. I think that's going to be a huge advantage, huge change. A lot more automation capabilities with that as well.
Right.
There's a lot of fields that you can query too. I was looking through it.
Well, I think you can. It's any of them now, right? Is it?
I didn't check,
custom
but it did
attributes?
seem like it was all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. A couple of other topics that we dug up for you here, folks. There's just an article helping to promote the Workspace Summit, which I think we talked about last couple of episodes on here. A couple of weeks away, like we said, May the 4th is going to be some keynote demos, Q&A, and a couple of sessions here. And so they're highlighting, obviously, the keynote and the demo and the Q&A, but also make proactive and resilient security accessible to every business, modernizing patient and provider experiences with Google Workspace and SADA. So SADA is being pretty out there lately. They're actually sponsoring, I think, the C2C events that I'm going to this week. Other topics there is shaping the future of work for frontline workers, which I'm very interested in hearing about what they're doing with that, if I don't already know about everything, because, well, we do this show. IT strategy that ensures business continuity, unlocking collaboration for the future of hybrid work, how Palo Alto Networks securely enabled its dynamic workforce to thrive with Google Workspace. If you can tell, it's a little bit salesy, but usually even within the salesy sessions, there are some tidbits that are very interesting, so bear with us. Modernizing and securing collaboration to accelerate digital transformation, and the last one is the future of information management with Google Workspace and OpenText. All of these I think should be very interesting, and like I said, there's usually some good tidbits in here, even if you know 50% or more of the content. So we'll have a link to this article, which obviously has a link to the sessions and the registration in the blog post over on Google's Cloud blog, so go and check it out. The next topic is Apple details how Google Workspace will integrate with their new Apple Business Manager. This is a tool that they're rolling out that is targeted towards small and mid-sized businesses that are using uh, Mac devices, Apple devices, so iPhones, iPads, Macs, MacBook Pros, etc., and doesn't have the full power of something like Jamf already in place. You're going to be able to do some basic device management through this program. I think it's a couple bucks a month per person. I'm actually looking into it for our office or for our company because we only have, I don't know, 10, 15 devices that are currently in use. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments on this one. Oh, Jamf will work for that. Go check out Jamf. I'm totally able to go and check out Jamf. This is just something I'm considering. What are you going to say, Steve?
Well, this is the acquisition of Fleetsmith, essentially. So this is all the functionality.
I knew it looked familiar.
Yep. That is why it looks familiar, right?
That's where it came from. Okay.
It's Fleetsmith. Yep. So yeah, Apple
Awesome.
acquired Fleetsmith a little while ago. I was actually out there
Congrats
in San
to
Francisco and
Fleetsmith.
met Zach, who's one of the founders, and I think he was also at Macaduck many years ago
Zach
when I was there.
at an event out here in LA.
Yeah,
Also,
he's definitely the face of the company for a lot of the events, things like that.
yeah, nice guy.
Yep.
Anyway, so this is a blog post talking about how it's going to integrate with Google Workspace, which I found very interesting because, well, it's Apple. I didn't see anything about how it's integrating with Office 365, though. So I don't know if you're mainly in that camp, then go and check that out. But if you are in that camp, why are you listening to the show? Anyway, make myself laugh. The next topic here is the 3 biggest mistakes companies make with return to office, according to Google's head of Workspace, our fearless leader, Javier Saltero. This is just an interesting CNBC article that was an interview with Javier. Like I said, it's always good to see what tidbits come up when Javier talks, given that he is the leader here behind Workspace. So just a couple of different topics here. One, focusing too much on meetings. Everybody hates meetings, but some companies have ramped up the meetings in an attempt to connect further, even though people are remote. Another one is taking a one-size-fits-all approach, which is generally saying, well, if you're going to work remote, work remote. If you're not, then work in the office. And his argument there correctly is that's not the right thing to do. Is if the person has to work in the office because they're an air conditioner repairman and they can't do their job, from home, then they have to be on site, but provide them with the tools to be able to bridge the gap between them and their remote colleagues and to have things like, for example, as they use in there, rapidly real-time changing schedules, adapting calendars, things like that. So some good advice. And of course, using the right technology is the third one here, to which of course he's going to be pitching is Google Meet and Workspace.
Could that be something Google related, maybe?
Gee, I don't know, maybe. Just to make sure. I mean, that's part of the reason why we're on this platform, right?
I know.
So that
right, of course,
we can utilize those, and some of that may be a little bit old news to all of our listeners here. What did I see? Another Wall Street Journal article today. I don't know if it was the head of Google Cloud or it was somebody over at Google said that. What was the article? It was something like CEOs see technology or software as a strategic leg up. I'm like, well, they frickin' should. Like, duh. What do you think we're doing here? So thank you, Captain Obvious. I'm glad that the rest of the CEOs that read the Wall Street Journal are finally going to get the picture and get on board, and we can get a lot more people interested in some more modern computing styles and ways of working, because it's unfortunate to say that there's a lot of businesses out there that are not using current modern architecture and setups. So. And then the last one I have is some good news for Zoom users on Chrome OS. If you were upset with the complete lack of features, or very close to lack of features, that Zoom came out with their PWA, they are bringing the ability to have a proper background replacement blur effect instead of just cutting the user in the frame. And don't try it. If you haven't already, don't try it. It's not good. This is going to be proper blurring and background replacement, and Zoom explains the update and its technical requirements as follows. Virtual background, instead of the current mask feature, can be enabled by users on devices with sufficient CPU scores, only available on devices with at least 4 logical cores, including 4 real cores or 2 cores with 4 threads. This may cause performance issues on lower-powered devices, and users can easily switch back to the simpler mask feature. So it sounds like it's not going to work on everything, but...
You know what? I was doing this last week because I was having so many I'm being added into this meeting where I'm one of the participants in a Teams event, and Teams it just doesn't work for whatever reason.
It's Teams.
Yeah, and I just haven't been dialing in to the meeting like through the telephone. I'm actually thinking I'm thinking about just doing that for all of my non-Meet meetings. It's just all right. Well, if you're going to invite me to a non-Google Meet meeting, I'm just going to dial in on the phone every single time, and that's how I'll join.
Then you're going to miss out on the screen sharing, Steve.
I mean, yeah, it's a shame.
And miss out on seeing your face on the tiles on the screen.
Well, invite me to a meet event then.
See, my trick here is a little bit passive aggressive. I'm just faster at sending the calendar invite because then I make sure that it's my invite, which includes the meet link. So my link.
I just go into the calendar event and internally anyways and change it from Zoom to Meet because I can edit everyone's calendar events. So
well, if it's an internal meeting, sure.
Yeah. I've actually had someone change it back. It was like a one-on-one meeting, and they went in and like changed it back to Zoom, and they're like, "Hey, can you use Zoom?" I'm like, "No, I'm not using it. Sorry. If you want to meet with me, I'm using Meet." You know, especially because we were like collaborating on stuff. We're like, I was on the phone, I was sharing a screen, and like Zoom just doesn't do that.
I've had companies that I've worked with where they're like, "Oh, it's our company policy. We can only use our Zoom link." I'm just like, "Do I have to?" You
can't.
Really?
There's no way that is ever reality.
A thing.
It can't.
Whatever.
It's impossible.
Yeah. Well.
Because what happens when you have two companies that's their policy? Then what do you do? You just don't meet?
Fight.
Someone gives in, right?
Somebody must eventually give in.
Yeah.
All right. One last announcement here is just a rehash of a recap of last week. Is if you're talking about the G Suite legacy shutdown on social media, be sure to use the hashtag family. What did I make it? Family Workspace. Hashtag Family Workspace.
You got to remember your own hashtag, Jesse. Come on.
I do have to remember my own hashtag. Yes, that's a good point, but it is getting late. Family Workspace, and the conversation is happening on Twitter for sure, but also elsewhere on the web. I've seen some people are starting to use it already, so thanks to all of those that are tweeting and commenting on YouTube and elsewhere about that. It's coming along. I'm seeing more comments that are saying, "Hey, they're."
You're still hopeful about something coming here, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I definitely am. But people are starting to get answers from Google support that are starting to indicate, just wait. So, not that that's any kind of official capacity, but just wait. I mean, what's the harm? There's literally no harm in waiting, right? It's not like you're going to lose the discount. It's not like you're going to be forced over. As long as you make sure to stay before that deadline to make your call, you'll be fine. And they already announced that they're going to roll out the ability to say, make me wait longer because they're still working on something else. As long as you do that, you're good. So just wait. Hashtag just wait. Hashtag Workspace. Family Workspace. All right. That's all for this week, folks. Send us your questions and comments on Twitter at Workspace Recap and on our website, workspacerecap.com. Hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening and or watching. Leave us a review. Drop your comments below on all of your favorite platforms, YouTube, etc. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Workspace Recap.